Welcome to the Bee Hive. Today is T-shirt day. Yeah, T-shirt quilt day. What I do want to say is this is not a tutorial. This is just my own process. There are several patterns, T-shirt patterns on the market, and I'm sure that they are all wonderful. With that said, I tend to march to my own drummer. So today we're going to, or rather I'm going to be sharing my process with the T-shirt quilt. But first, welcome. It snowed here yesterday, just like a spit of snow. The temperature dropped quite a bit, and the snow stuck to the ground, but barely. And this afternoon it's totally all gone, and it's sunny and cold outside. But oh, and the mountains are out. Yeah, so the mountains are back out. Yesterday afternoon and this morning, no mountains. I am looking forward to some warmer weather from my friends in Tucson. I hear it's 75, and so I'm looking forward to some warmer weather. Although I do see in my yard daffodils are already like this tall up out of the ground, so it's coming. Spring is sprung. Just can't wait for it to really spring. I have been doing a certain pattern to my day and time. I can't tell you, my house has never been so clean. You know, I've been dusting the bejeebies out of it because let me tell you, I have allergies and I have asthma, and it's the beginning of juniper season here, which means everybody's face is going to be, nose is going to be running, eyes are red, but now you can't be sneezing or coughing outside. Everybody thinks you got the plague. So, you know, I said, well, the very least I can do is to dust my house so I don't have such an allergic reaction to my own house. So it's never been this clean. I'm usually too distracted with my own quilting stuff to actually deep clean my house, but I did it. I did it anyway, and it feels kind of good. And I like the structure that I've been organizing for myself. It's not that I'm not a really good rule follower, as those of you who have been around for a while know. When I do a quilt, it's really dicey whether it's going to come out because I didn't actually read the directions. But I find that, like parents who are creating structure for their children right now, that I need some guidelines. Otherwise, I would just be willy-nilly and never have accomplished anything, and be like that crow that's jumping around at the next shiny thing. So what I've done is I get to lay around in my jammies till about 7:30. I get up early though. I get up early. G makes coffee. He likes to read the news. I always ask him, is there anything I need to worry about? And let me tell you, not having an active television going on all day has been a godsend for me. So I ask him about the news. I'm taking some time out early in the morning for pleasure reading. And then by 8 o'clock, I am getting dressed, fixing my hair, putting my makeup on, and I decided to add one more thing to my life. You know, when you have your walls, and this is your world, you're trying to create diversity or changes. And so I was looking at my jewelry box, And I realized that I only wear like 2 or 3 pairs of earrings. They're like my favorites. But the rest of those earrings that I've accumulated over the years kind of sit there waiting to be worn. That's just my thing. So what I decided to do, which has been quite fun, is I put a different pair of earrings on. Different pair of earrings on every day. I'm wearing earrings I haven't worn in years. And that little thing made me kind of happy. So that's what I'm doing. I'm changing out my earrings. I'm like, wow, I got those when I was in Venice. I got these when I was in Sedona. I got but you end up with wearing the same ones that it started with the pearls. And I thought, wow, I hardly ever wore these pearls. What else have I got in that box? So whatever will help your frame of mind, do it. Do it. You're the boss of yourself. This just works for me for whatever reason. And then I decided I have this Bodhi Tree Organic. It's an Aromatherapy Mist. And I'll put the link in the description. It's an Etsy shop. And this particular one is for calm. And what I started doing was after I made the bed in the morning, I just sprayed the top of the bedspread, with this wonderful, very subtle, calming aromatherapy smell. And whether it actually does it or not, just doing it made me feel better. So I will put the link for this in the description for this Etsy shop, because our poor Etsy shops are, we have to help each other. We have to help each other through this. So that's my tips for the day. Now on to t-shirts. Now I told you before that I had that big hamper of t-shirts, and they are well loved. They have been worn, some of them, to almost being so thin. And I do not have any rhyme or reason at this point on how I cut the t-shirts. But there are a couple of things that will make your life easier. And that is to have on hand a bolt of the Pellon SF101. I get it by the bolt from Joann's with, when you buy a whole bolt of anything at Joann's, at least this was pre-pandemic, if you bought a bolt, you got 40% off of the whole bolt. So because I use this so much for my wool, I just buy it by the bolt, and I have it on hand. You're going to want this. This was $6.99 a yard, but 40% off for the whole bolt. So you're going to want to have this to do a t-shirt quilt. It's just going to make you more zen about it, and not too much cussing when it comes to getting the t-shirts prepped. I started yesterday because I have so many t-shirts, and what I do is when I measure a t-shirt, so here's a t-shirt. This cannot be my cousin's t-shirt. He's a big guy. He's like, I think he must be 6'1" or 6'2", and look at this tiny t-shirt. This must have been his wife's. But you see the motif on the front? I measure this motif and give myself an inch on all sides. That way, if I need to cut it down, I can. And then sometimes, if there's something fun on the back, I will save that. If there's nothing fun on the back, I will just cut this t-shirt from the front right through the back with the rotary cutter and be done with it. So let me show you this process here. So I've started with, I cut this because I wanted to save the back of this t-shirt. Here's the front of it. And I just took my scissors and whacked the front out of it. And then I thought, oh, I'll save the back and use that, just in case. It doesn't mean I have to, but when I'm constructing the t-shirt quilt, if I need this, then I want it prepped. And it just had all the businesses it sponsored. But I thought it was kind of fun because some of these businesses are local to, boy, I thought I turned that off, local to Bend, Oregon, where they used to live. Oh, that was my sweet daughter-in-law, ER nurse. I wanted to know if I could send them anything to make their lives easier. I tell you, those people on the front lines, the doctors, nurses, firemen, paramedics, police, grocery checkers, pharmacists, oh, bless their hearts. So what I did was I cut the front off of this t-shirt and I've laid it out here. And I'm taking my ruler and I'm measuring the motif where I have at least an inch on all sides. So I need a piece of soft fuse that is going to be 8 inches by 8 by 7, an 8 by 7 rectangle. And the way I do this is I tend to just cut a strip down. And I save all these little pieces for the little motifs that might show up. So 8 by, what did I say, 7? So here we go. I'm gonna making it 8 inches, and I'm just going to cut an 8-inch strip off of my SF, my Pellon SF 101. Double checking. So that is right. Cutting a 7-inch piece off of this. And now, come on over to the ironing board. So I'm using my cordless Pellon iron because I love it. And I have my piece of Pellon SF 101. And I've got the t-shirt motif facing down. So the right side is down and the inside of the t-shirt is up. And you can see the motif through the shirt. And I'm going to center my piece of Pellon over the top of it, making sure that the bumpy side of the Pellon is against the t-shirt because that's the sticky side. And the smooth side is facing up. And then using some steam, I give it a good press. it's a, he had so many t-shirts. It's a 2-day job just prepping these t-shirts. I have no idea of the layout because I'm not following a pattern. I'm just going to put it together in the way that pleases me. And so, and then I got the back of the t-shirt here, and I have the back facing down and the inside of the shirt facing up, and I can see the writing through the t-shirt. And then I am centering that. It's not rocket science. It's not rocket science. And then I'm going to press this. So back to the layout. I don't have an idea of the layout I'm going to use. I know I might make some filler blocks. I'm kind of partial to the Ohio Star, and but I'll have to see. Or sashing, 2-inch sashing around. It's going to be like a Jenga puzzle because you have to figure out how it's going to all go together and ultimately end up in a quilt top. Okay, back to the cutting board. So now I have my t-shirt, and it has the pellon, the size that I need, over the motif, and so now I'm just using that as a guide, and I'm going to cut it out with my rotary cutter. And again, don't have to be exact because you might end up trimming these down. There we go. And there's our motif with all of the, and this is the reason why you want to use the Pellon SF101 on the back. Because when you cut a t-shirt and you try to cut a square out of a t-shirt, it curls up. It just curls up, and you cannot keep, it's a pain to keep a straight edge. See, it just wants to curl. And I don't know what that boy was doing, but he's got like coffee stains on it. Geez. But there I have, maybe this is a little bit of blood, sweat, and tears stains on that. So I'm going to cut the back of it out. Now, there was a gal who told me that you could take this leftover t-shirts and cut them into strips, these leftover chunks, and knit them into like a car blanket, but I don't know how to knit. The best part about this is you don't have to care about the remainder pieces of t-shirt. But I have heard people take these pieces of t-shirts, and for those dog lovers who have fur babies at home, you can like tie them up really tightly and make like a pull toy. That would be fun. See, and then I just put that in the pile. Put that in the pile. And then I have another little motif. So I have still half a hamper of these to do, and I know that you're not going to want to watch me do each and every one because it took me all afternoon yesterday to do this pile. Oh yes, I mean there's just, these are all prepped, and all I did was to give myself an inch around, and like this one, this one, actually had a hole in it. And so once I put it in a T-shirt quilt, I might find a cute patch to put over there, you know. So once I get the whole pile done, then we'll meet at the next video and I'll start laying it out on the design wall, trying to figure out what I'm going to do, how I'm going to create the T-shirt quilt. It might be simpler for some of you to get a T-shirt pattern and have the, because someone's telling you how to do it. But then you have to make sure that your T-shirt pieces are the same size as that pattern. And I know, as you can see by these different pieces, that they're so different in size that I think I'm just going to try to lay them out and figure it out for myself. I have made, I think I've made 3 T-shirt quilts. I know that years ago, when I actually had a little cottage business, I was contacted by a coach for the Ducks, the U of O Ducks, and he wanted a T-shirt quilt. And I said, sure, and we calculated what it would cost him, which was not it wasn't cheap, because you're talking about time, you're talking about sashing, you're talking about backing, binding, hand binding, quilting, and I used to do all of that. So I said, sure, I'll do it. I was never so nervous because what he brought over, I mean, he had been a football coach his entire career. And what he brought over also included his own jersey from when he was like 12. I mean, I was freaked out. I did not want to make a mistake on that one. But it turned out great. But when he came to pick it up, I asked him, I said, so how many kids do you have? And he said he had 2 sons. I said, well, I'm not sure which one's going to get this, but you better put it in your will. And then, this is, see, T-shirt quilts, they sound so simple and, T-shirt quilt, not like grandmother's flower garden. But also several years ago, when one of the first boys in our town died in the war in Iraq, I was just, it takes, as a mother, as a community member, it just takes your breath away. And he had gone to the same high school that my kids went to. So through the grapevine, I contacted his mother and I said I would love to make her a T-shirt quilt. And bless her heart, she entrusted me with her son's memory. And I don't know how many tears I shed during that T-shirt quilt making, but it was not only a gift to her, it was a gift to me too. So that is T-shirts quilts can be amazing. And then the third one I made was for my brother-in-law. Now my brother-in-law retired as he was a fireman. And while he was a fireman in his career, he participated in the Police and Firemen's Olympics, which actually was bigger in participants than the regular Olympics. And they were held all over the world every couple years. And so he traveled all over the world, Australia, Europe, just everywhere. And he was a runner, so he ran for the American team and had collected all those T-shirts. And so I turned all of his participant T-shirts into a T-shirt quilt. And it hangs in his office to this day. So even when I go visit my sister and I see that quilt, I think about all the places he ran. How extraordinary is that? So a T-shirt quilt may seem like an easy no-brainer, but it is just steeped in memories. And I have never known one person who received a T-shirt quilt that didn't just love it. They're just so awesome. You get to relive your heyday, or what you participated in, or what you accomplished, what you overcame. And they are an awesome gift, So I need to make one for myself, because I used to run, and I saved a lot of my running T-shirts too. But one of these days I'll make myself one. In the meantime, I'm going to be working on my cousins. So thank you for hanging out. I'm not going to bore you with all the same tedious over and over again cutting, fusing. And when we get the pile all ready, the next video, I'll let you watch my brain process in trying to figure out a layout for this quilt. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay in, and stitch.
Thanks for watching.
And be sure to like and subscribe on Quilt Roadies.